Welcome back, guys. I'm John, and today we're going to be going over the Matcha 26 by Labo. This is some of the more fun packaging I've seen from a fragrance company. I like the simplicity, the kind of like rustic, simple vibe. I bought this about a month ago, and I wanted to get around to reviewing this, but I really like this fragrance a lot, so I wanted to kind of do it justice. So I wanted to wait a little bit until I got a couple of videos up on the channel to go over this one, because I really wanted to give this one the attention it deserves, and I think that now would be the time to go ahead and do a review on it. Again, the packaging is pretty simple, but I really appreciate it. And when I bought this, I stupidly enough bought just the 15 ml, but I'm kind of happy I did, because when you have a lot of fragrances, you really can't go through all the liquid fast enough to validate buying 100 ml bottles, 50 ml bottles all the time. So with this one, this is one of the ones I should have bought a 100 ml bottle, because I love this fragrance. But the day that I wore it, I said, you know what, I'll just kind of buy a 15 ml, and then if I want, I can go back. So I went into the store, I tried all of the different Labos. There's a bunch of beautiful ones, but I ended up settling on the Matcha 26. This has notes of matcha, fig, cedar, vetiver, and it's just really remarkable. It's honestly probably in my top 5, and I see a lot of people talk about this fragrance online, and I don't know. A lot of people seem to think this isn't like all that. It's like kind of underwhelming, where I think it's really beautiful. I don't get a lot of the matcha in it, I'll be honest, but I get the embodiment of it being there, and I think that's because this like creamy fig is really underneath it all, just kind of lifting it. And I'd say the vetiver in there isn't the super grassy kind. It is definitely earthy, but I think it's just done so beautifully and masterfully. It really is remarkable. It's one of my favorites. Again, I can't really place it, but I would have to say it's in one of my top. It's in my top 5 for sure, at least right now. It performs really well in the heat. I can get traces of this on skin hours later. I would say it's going to be probably 2 to 3 hours in a nice scent bubble, and then it's kind of sticks to the skin later. But I've smelled this on myself up to about 7 hours later on in the day, and it just maintains this kind of linear fig fragrance with some of that cedar and vetiver shining through later on when it becomes a skin scent. I get this kind of vibe that it's sitting, really close and intimate on the skin. It kind of feels like you're hovering above a nice matcha tea, and you're sitting in like a nice garden on a warm day, getting some of these fragrant, some of these scents of like nature around you while you have this cup of matcha right under your nose. And that's kind of the vibe I feel from this. It does have a little bit of orange bitter in there, so I can kind of get a little hint of citrusy in here, but it's not a whole load of citrus. It's more of that woody, vetiver, creamy fig, and I just think it's remarkable how much I love this. It caught me off guard how much I do, and like I said, once I'm done with this bottle, I'm likely going to purchase the larger bottle. I'll go ahead and put the notes and the cost up on the screen. Being Labo, it is commanding a higher price. Again, this one I think is really, really worth it, at least for me, in my opinion. Some of the Labos I think I probably will go through and review in the future as well, such as the Noir 29, another 13. So I will put those up on the channel at some point. But this one was what really spoke to me, at least off the bat. If I had purchased in a different season, if it was winter, maybe I would have went with the Noir 29, because I really do like that as well. In the package, it comes with a little card that I just wanted to go over. It's kind of like their, manifest, so to speak, that they probably package with all their creations. So I just wanted to go over that. Welcome to the world of Labo, and thank you for purchasing our creations. Some information on your creation. Each perfume is carefully developed and we do not compromise on its aesthetic nor quality. All our perfumes, candles, and other creations are cruelty-free, and your perfume or candle has been compounded or poured by hand by a trained lab technician that follows a strict set of protocols. Your creation is a mix of ingredients that need to equilibrate with its host. Slight olfactive evolution may occur over time. Deposits and coloration may appear. They do not alter the olfactive rendering or experience and are due to inherent characteristics of the raw ingredients used in the composition of this perfume. And then whoever bottled mine wrote a little note saying, merci, merci beaucoup. So where they do hand pour this, I've seen that they recommend kind of letting this mature a little bit because these are poured right on site. They don't go through the typical maceration period, such as some of these big designer houses and stuff like that, where they sit in big batches and they kind of pre-render the materials to mature before they hit store shelves. So where this is poured right on the spot, they do recommend kind of letting it, blossom into its own thing through maturation. Maceration does not occur after you get a bottled perfume, cologne, so to speak. That portion's done. That's a pre-rendering at a warehouse, the word maceration. It can still mature, and that's where maturation comes from. So typically putting the bottle in a dark, room temperature safe spot with low humidity is going to render best results, and you could come back a month later and these will smell not entirely different, but they'll mature. They become more robust. They'll stay on the skin longer because these compounds have had time to work themselves into each other and blend. So with that being said, I do believe that this is a really unisex fragrance. I don't think it leans either which way, leaning more masculine or feminine. I think it can be right down the middle. It's all just a matter of preference and based on subjectivity, as most fragrances are. But this bottle here, I do like that it's a travel size. But again, I kind of wish I went with the bigger bottle because now I'm afraid to use it. I have a lot of the juice in here still. I don't know if you can see it on camera so much. I have been very sparing spraying this already, and I've had it for a month, but I'm like, damn, I just don't want to go through it. I don't want to burn through it. But luckily enough, as I said before, you spray this on skin and you get traces of it hours later. I actually had somebody at work smell me walking around where I work because I'm always on the move, which to that point is more metabolism and, things are changing on my skin as I'm moving around, at work and being kind of frantic. So that can, change how long a fragrance lasts. And he had mentioned that he could still smell me. And this was hours later into the day, like hours later. He said it was still very strong in the air, even though I couldn't smell it on myself, but my nose is probably tarnished from all the fragrances. I wear them every day, so on and so forth. You become a little bit nose blind to the ones that you're wearing later on in the day sometimes. So he did mention that, hey, I still smell that, and it's impressive how long this lasted. And that was really the first time I took notice to say, hey, wow, this fragrance is kind of special. Not that I place a lot of value in how something lasts, but it did kind of dovetail with how much I enjoyed this creating a scent bubble around me. And I think that's important. I think there's a lot of factors that make fragrances very special. The way they resonate with you. Of course, we all want our fragrances to last 12 hours a day. Sometimes not, but you want them to last at least a work day, I would think. And this one, it lasts long enough that I'm happy with it. And it smells awesome. That's like the main thing, is it smells awesome, at least to my nose. And that's why I just wanted to come on and review it. I wanted to kind of wait and really think about what I wanted to say about this one. And again, it just feels like part of nature, like a nice cup of matcha on a warm day, the nature around you, some grassiness and some, woods. Like picture sitting under a tree having a cup of matcha. The grass is really green. There might be a little bit of dewiness. Maybe it's early in the morning, so there's still a little bit of dewiness before that heat cooks all of the moisture out of the grass. That's what this embodies to me, but with a little bit of sweetness to it. So Let me know down in the comments below if you've had the matcha or if you've had any other Labo fragrances. I'd be very excited to see what people say about some of the other ones, so I can maybe explore this house a little bit better, because right now I'm very much curious about this house just based off of this and the Noir 29. Again, I'll do a sample of that in the future and post it up to the channel. But in the meantime, thank you for watching and take care.